Assalamualaikum foodies. So it's been a long time and I've been thinking what recipe should I add to the page. Today we are going to make katlama, and I had no idea about this dish until I met my husband. I have never eaten it, so this is especially for my husband and my friend who are Pakistani and have some Lahore roots. So for this recipe I am going to be using 1 cup of besan, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon red chili, 2 teaspoons each of coriander and zira, and I use the pounder to pound it into flakes or crush them. And then I use 1 teaspoon kala namak, and there's half a teaspoon of salt. About 1 tablespoon or more of anardana, which is pomegranate seeds, and I kind of soaked it in water, but I won't leave it in there for too long. I just want just want it to soak a little bit, and then I'm gonna take the water off. This is gonna be used for topping. The anardana and the coriander and zira are for topping, and also I have moong dal, which I have soaked in some water, and I'm going to use that as topping too. So as required, you can get the moong dal. I would say about 1/4 cup or half a cup is good enough. So for today's recipe, I am using the food color because katlama won't look like katlama if I don't use the food color. Other than this, we have the atta, which I have already dough is already done, and I am not using maida, but you can definitely use maida for the dough. So my dough is already done. I'm also making puris, so I have made some extra dough. This is about 5 cups of atta. I'm using whole wheat flour from Ashirwad, and I'm gonna make puris the Indian way with whole wheat flour, and I'm gonna use the same atta for katlama. So just like all I did was put the atta in my mixer, and I put about 1.5 cups of warm water in 5 cups of flour, and I used my dough attachment, and I just did it like I would do it for rotis. In the end, what you would want to do is you want to take this off, and you want to use some oil. Here I have used some avocado oil, and I put it on top of the atta, and I just gundofied it nicely. And then you want to also cover the top with atta, because when you use warm water to make the dough, it kind of dries the flour out. So you want to cover it with a wet cloth and leave this dough for about half an hour to 1 hour. And once you're done, once it's half an hour is done, you gundofy it again, and then you can start making your puris, and they will be so fluffy and soft, and they will rise up so nicely. I can't wait to see the results. So whatever ingredients I had here, just the chili, the kala namak, and the salt, I have put it in my basin, and I have mixed it up nicely. Now into this, I beat 1 egg, and I'm gonna pour that egg into my basin. Now when I've seen people make katlama, like the regular vendors who make it, I'm not sure if they put egg in it, but just because we are not professional, but we want to try to make it like them, I think the egg is used as a binder to the atta, because the besan batter could, like when you make pakoras, if the besan batter is not right, it separates from your veggies, and it floats around, it doesn't stick on nicely. So this could be another good alternative if you have issues with that when you make pakore. You could actually add a beaten egg to your batter, and this way your pakoras won't separate, the atta won't separate from your veggies, and also the pakora will become very crispy, because egg, any tempura that you make, shrimp tempura, they use egg in it. So I think that would be a great alternative to that problem where the batter separates. Okay, now you see that we definitely need water for this. So for the water, I'll just put as required. So I'm just gonna put 1 tablespoon water. This is the most important part, because if this doesn't be right, then it will be an issue. And you want the consistency of your besan to be the right consistency. I'll just put this here. Another tablespoon. After adding about 4 tablespoons of water, this is the consistency I got. When you lift the batter, it should fall from the spoon. Okay, so it's not too liquidy and it's not too thick. So I put 1 egg in 1 cup of besan and I use 4 tablespoons of water. Please do not just add 4 tablespoons. First add 2, mix it, then add another one. If you need, then add the 4th tablespoon. Okay, to this, now, not my favorite thing to do, but I'm gonna just add a teeny tiny bit of red food coloring. That's good enough. This is a very strong food coloring brand. I don't use the powders. Not sure, I know it's food grade, etc., but I'm concerned about food coloring. So anyways, once in a while, everything in moderation is okay. If you want it nice and red, you can use a good brand of food coloring from the store, or you could even use this liquid food coloring that you get in any store here in the US. I'm not going to add more than this. This is good enough for me. I really love the texture of the besan. I can't wait to eat this thing that I've heard about so much. Okay. So I'm just going to leave my batter, and when I'm ready to make my katlama, I just made a disc. Don't make it too big because we are not professional in picking it up once the toppings are also my break. Don't press too hard when you are applying this because it will stick, the dough will stick to the bottom, and then again it will be hard to pick it up. So be gentle. Once you do this, the toppings on, this is moong dal that was soaked for 2 hours. Dana. And you want to just press it down so it sticks to the dough. The oil is already warm. I'm just going to wash my hands. Hard. I did not add a lot of food color in it, so you won't see that super red color. But if you want it, you could do it. And you know the bottom is cooked. I'm going to flip it over. Be careful because the dal Clutters. And the anardana.